All right, everybody. Man, I don't know what's going on. All right, man, let's get into it. I see y'all here. It said I wasn't online. It says I'm online. I don't know what's going on, but let me start this properly the right way. Appreciate all y'all who patronize the page, and let's get it.
Going to shout out to Hoops Jargon, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoops Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
Shout out to Hoop Jargon. Shout out to the
Hoop Jargon,
family.
man. Shout out to Boxden.
Man, shout out to Hoop Jargon, man. Hey, see Hendo, man. I got to get with you. You got to put Perk in the group, man, like you told her he's gonna do. Put Perk in the group because you know it ain't nothing sweet in Hoop Jargon. You know what time it is. And like Christian G said, Hoop Jargon or nothing at all, baby. Yes. Rap God says Kwame is the biggest star on YouTube. Absolutely. That boy done took Kevin Samuels, shine, to a degree. That's a damn near unheard of in this era of YouTube. So yeah, man, shout out to Kwame Brown. He's doing his thing, speaking his truth the way he sees it. And who are we to say? He wrong in the way he going about it, but we'll get into more of that later. CA3 says, yo, Hoop, what's up? What's up, CA3, man? Loyal support of the channel, man. I really appreciate you, brother. All right, let me get a little sip of wine. All right, let's talk about it, man. So Kwame Brown, man, has Sia Maya says he's live too. Yeah, he is. I'm actually gonna play a little bit of his current live he got going. Yeah, man. Hey, Kwame Brown is on a rampage, man. That man on a rampage. Keaton Captain said, yo, what's up, homie? What's up? Appreciate you tuning into the stream, bro. And I really like these because y'all are coming on them quicker. And because, like, man, I say this all the time, man. It's nothing like being on YouTube and nobody listens to what you're saying. So I do appreciate y'all being on these, and I try to highlight y'all comments as much as I can. Sometimes I'm in the middle of a thought, so I can't highlight it like I want to. But I want to let y'all know I really appreciate all y'all who come to the page. Let me start with that. All right, man. So here's the thing with Kwame Brown, man. I think we all got like a solid week and some change to kind of take it all in, and we can kind of make it for what it is. And here's the thing, man. Kwame Brown is the media's worst nightmare. And here's the reason why. Because he has those inroads with all these people. He knows what they do outside of, their professional life. He knows how they get down. He knows the inner workings. And he always talk about the grouping, as it were. So he know that a lot of these dudes just be talking, man. He knows that. And he stands on it. He stands on it. And that's something that a guy like Kwame Brown, he's also intellectual. He is a very much intellectual guy. And what you're kind of seeing is he calls it is quicksand because he's a chess player in life. So his career, and here's the thing that's pissing people off, is that his career has nothing to do with who he is as a man, how he views himself as a man. Because as we all know on the basketball court, there's different personality types, and it fits towards the whole, depending on what the coach wants, what the president wants, and blah 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 blah. So all that shit kind of shakes out how it shakes out. And what I will tell you guys is that there are a lot of people who are the heads of basketball team of just horrible human beings. Or let's not go that extreme. Just not good people. Or they don't have any clue what they're doing as far as guiding their own life besides guiding the basketball team. So in other words, you're really good at one thing, and that's all you're good at. You know what I'm saying? I talked about this on my live stream from yesterday, speaking about the lady from WNBA, about how, you got to watch how you follow these athletes, because a lot of them ain't all there like you think, man. A lot of them not there, man. And Rap God, I'm going to get to your questions. I'm going to wait till I kind of do an assessment a little bit, but I will get to your questions. Just let you know. I appreciate you, brother. All right, Simon Man said, who knew Kwame was a sleeping giant in the road? Exactly. So here's the thing, man. What they say, the quiet ones you always got to watch, because the quiet ones, they'll mess around, have that hammer in their pocket. And you get so used to just, handle them a certain type of way, and they just get to that point where they break, they snap. And we've seen these in instances of like school shootings, or like, you know how everybody say get cool with the quiet one. And Kwame Brown just happened to be a 7-foot quiet one. You understand what I'm saying? And so he's a cheat code because again, he knows the inner workings, the inner sanctums of the media game. He just lining their ass up the way he perceives it. Now, do I agree with everything he says? No, I don't. However, one thing I keep telling people unabashedly is that you cannot tell a man who's been vilified for 20 years. Like, let's be real here, guys. Kwame Brown been a punching bag for about 20 years in the media, man. So I can't tell him how his get back game is. You can't tell him when he got to be an adult, he got to be grown up, because that's what he calls the go along, get along game. That's what they do. They try to dictate the terms of engagement and then tell you how you play in it, and they do what the fuck they want to do. And Kwame Brown is like, yeah, fuck that. Kwame Brown he ain't fucking with that shit, man. And the reality is he doesn't have to. He's his own man. He's not controlled. And so what you see is a lot of guys like Kwame Brown, or LeVar Ball, the Williams sisters' father. When you are unabashedly speaking, forward-thinking black man, you're hard to control. And a lot of people, Richard Williams is his name, a lot of people don't want to do with you. And so what they tend to do is do the same old routine where they set the trap for you to try to, conform to their game. We've seen this with Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, everybody want to call him gay at every, right and left turn because he speaks unabashedly as a black man. And there's not much room in this world for that as far as the media is concerned. Christian G said, Kwame the GOAT right now. He's like, yeah, man, Kwame is entertaining. Not gonna lie, some of his stuff is kind of getting a little boring to me a little bit. But again, I'm not here to tell you that man how to get his get back. That dude been a punching bag for a long time. You understand what I'm saying? See, he's not being controlled by any network. Exactly. And I think, a great example is that when he got on Stephen A. Smith and Jamel Hill's ass. And so usually, like, here's the thing, man, with women in media, the way that they have strength usually, because you can't as a woman talk down and talk shit to a male. What you do is you go to the upper management and get them to control the male. So Jamel Hill ran to a big ass pile of doo-doo, trying to come to Kwame, trying to inject herself into something that she was not invited to. And Kwame got in her ass. And she stepped away, and there was nothing really she could do. She was in quicksand, like as he says. She's a doo-doo. She couldn't really do anything, but she injected herself in the conversation. And Kwame, again, he's an erudite, what you call he's a smart dude. And the reason why, he understands human nature very well. He understands human nature very well. So once you understand human nature, people generally will play towards your archetype. I can say I understand that very well too. I'm a salesman by trade. So literally, I get paid to read people's personality types and to predict what they will do next. And we call it overcoming objections. So when they say the reason why they're not going to buy, based on what you've shown me, based on your personality trait, I know how to combat that. And Kwame Brown, he's what you call I won't call him self-taught, but he just learned. He's a guy who soaked up a lot of game. But all of you who are self-taught, you call them autodidacts or whatever. And I don't know enough about him to call him that just yet. But he just a kid from what his testimony is. He soaked up a lot of game. If you grew up in the South like me, man, it's a lot of game to be had, whether it's from a good or bad person. You listen well enough, you definitely pick up on what you need to learn when you deal with other grown folks, if y'all follow me. All right, let's say, did I order some merch? I did not. I'm going to check his merch out, man, because I support black business, man. Triple B's, man. I got a lot of big baller brand stuff. So I want to check them out. Yeah, I need to look at that. I appreciate that, CMI. The media loves Jordan, but hate T.O. Double standard on narrative for both. I mean, you know how it goes, man. It's called media bias. Media bias is to go along, get along, as Kwame says. So basically, they set the parameters of what you should be, of how you should be, what you should accept, what you propagate. And they just try to, basically bully you into staying with that line of thinking. A guy like Kwame Brown, who is highly intelligent. Again, he's an erudite, very intelligent dude. He ain't going with that shit. And he got the brawn to back it up. At the end of the day, it's a 7-foot dude, and Gilbert Arenas just confirmed he got them hands. So what can you do to him? besides besmirch him with other shit. Now I will say this: his thing with Kwame, I mean, I'm sorry, with Charlemagne the God, I don't agree fully with what he was doing with that, but I can't tell that man how to feel about Charlemagne the God putting his personal business out there, even though it is public record. But it's almost like, it's passive aggressive, man. When someone brings up some shit and act like it's not what they're doing, but they still bring it up, that's passive aggression. And again, with Kwame being an erudite, he's a smart dude. He can see through the tactic. And to Charlemagne's defense, he said that that's not what his intent was. And I tend to believe it because here's why. In that sphere of the Breakfast Club, it's a lot of fuckery, man. And you know what? I used to watch the Breakfast Club all the time, man. I stopped watching it about 3 years ago. And here's why. Because the tenets that they run that show on are very much left-leaning, very much modern and liberal. And in a sense where it's chaotic. So if you follow the line of perspective from that show, they'll have you all over the place. You would think all these rumors and scandals, like that's normal human behavior and all this shit. And I can't do it. I think they had like Hillary Clinton on there. I can't do Hillary Clinton, man. Like she's the ultimate panderer. She's gonna do nothing for our community. She doesn't give a shit about Black community. So, but they propagate people like that because the go along, get along shit. So let's bring it to what we're speaking about. I think Kwame Brown's a little off about what he's saying now as far as that sexual assault thing. I don't have enough information on that. I heard him speak on it one time, and the way it sounded to me, this was years ago, that it wasn't what they say. But I mean, I didn't look enough. So one thing I'm not gonna do, guys, is share perspective on something I'm not enlightened on, and I'm not enlightened on that. So I'm a tread lightly with that. But with him again, surreptitiously or secretively putting out that information about his father, who Kwame said he didn't really go around his father, and you can kind of tell that with his speech. He only talks about his mother. He said, "I'm sprinkle mama's cooking on him." He always says that, verbatim. So he said a brother he never met. So now I will say this, and a lot of people they may not agree with this. In your DNA code, you definitely can exhibit some of the past behaviors of people who are in your bloodline. Because, and some people don't want to agree with this, but whether you say it's spiritual, whether it's in your DNA code, that's why some people are chronic alcoholics. Some people are chronic abusers, chronic verbal abusers. And it comes from your family DNA code. And that's why, it's very important that you really evaluate who you procreate with, because some part of that DNA code that you even factor in can pass down to your kids. So I do want to highlight that as we go along. So Kwame, the way he sees it, that's not a thing that's worth mentioning. However, some traits like that can pass down to a generation. I'm not saying that's the case with him, because again, he strikes me as a very brilliant speaker. But I'm not dismissing the fact either that your family has a propensity to abuse and kill, and that. So I'm not saying that it's. I just think it was very tacky. It was very tacky the way that Charlemagne put that out there. I just would have been like, "Yo, listen, y'all look up his family stuff on your own. That dude, just leave that dude alone." But he went into detail, and I understand why Kwame felt a certain way, a type of that, because I mean, who wants that kind of shit put out in that manner in that national audience like that? You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be off-putting. So, and Charlemagne went and apologized, whether it was sincere or not. He put it out there, and Kwame chose not to accept it. You can't tell it. All you can do is apologize. And if a man accepts it, he does, and he doesn't, he does it, and you move forward amicably. And so, yeah, if I was Charlemagne, I would just shut the hell up, because he can't fool with Kwame Brown, man. That dude is too much of a upstanding he's a self-defined man, and that's one of the hardest things in this media game to control, a man who's self-defined. And I hope my channel gets real big. And one thing I want y'all to know is I'm not as abrasive as Kwame. I ain't gonna be shut your bitch ass up every 2 seconds, which I actually think is hilarious. I'm a little more, I guess, congenial, I guess you would say. But I'm going to speak unabashedly the truth, and I don't care who don't like it. So just know that's what you signed up for, watching my page. So I do want to play a little bit from this video that he's playing right now, and this kind of gives credence to what I was saying about him being self-defined and he gonna do things his way. So let's listen a little bit. Let me know if y'all can't hear it.
Oh no! You trying to put me in that
Dulo twist. That Dulo twist. You gotta love Kwame Brown's word. Hey, let me know if y'all can't hear it. Slide over a little more. Appreciate y'all staying on with your boy, man. Is everybody here okay?
Well, don't never tell nobody when it's game. Boy, I didn't even see that.
The boy playing tongue.
You could have killed.
No, let's get to the point.
You could have went this way.
And I will say this while he's going, Kwame Brown is learning. As you see his first few videos, man, he's just going crazy, just going off in the front seat, as Matt Bowen said. And I want to say this too before I play more of this video. Now he's getting more polished. He's learning the game at a pretty quick rate. I saw his channel when I first watched that first video. He's at about 3K subscribers. He's at 240K now. If y'all know on YouTube, that's unheard of. That's unheard of to join your channel like that. And I will say this, being me from Houston, the H, as you see on here, I've never seen nobody speak to Steven Jackson like that. Now, Kwame Brown is laid him out. As y'all know, Stack is part of the blood game. And he'll do, I seen him snatch up Steve Francis before in a club over some, what he perceived as fuck shit. And so I know, Jack ain't a dude, nobody talks to him crazy like that. He's from Port Arthur, which is about an hour and a half out of Houston. But, that's pretty much Houston. We pretty much accept PA. That's where Pimp C was from as well in Bun B. So we accept Port Arthur as Houston. And, Jack, man, nobody stepping Jack like that. And I seen Kwame call him all kind of bitches. And saying, like, I'll get you, I'm going to jump up on top of you like a trampoline. And the fact that Jack ain't really came at him, that's something to watch, man. I mean, he know if he come at him, he going to have to come correct. And so I do want to put that out there as we go forward. Matt Barnes, now, I ain't going to say Matt Barnes as a whole. I just think Matt Barnes suffers from that light-skinned dude shit. But what I mean by that is identity crisis a little bit, having problems with dealing with individuals who, I guess, try to be too black and not understanding your place. And then, because the way he just managed that situation with, was it Gloria Galvan that he's with, that Derek Fisher's with now? It just was some light-skinned dude shit, man. And so, and Kwame has laced that out. I don't want to air out too much of that, but to me, he's like an impulsive guy. I met Matt Barnes before. He's a cool dude. I even asked him. I met him in like 2011. I got a picture with him too, man. I'm gonna share that one day. I asked him straight up, man. You and Kobe got beef? He's like, no, not at all. He's like, man, I love Kobe. So I don't have no ill will towards Matt Barnes, even though Kwame Brown doesn't. But I do see the thoroughness in Kwame a little bit over a Matt Barnes type guy. I will say that. All right, so let me play his live from further.
While I'm spending some father-son time, because, some of you say I got bad life and I just don't do deal with kids and all this other dumb shit y'all say about motherfuckers bus and y'all didn't even know and didn't even say that to you. So, I just got a question, sir. You got Mark home. Dr. Boyce Watkins.
And let me say this. I've said this in videos before. Watch dudes like Dr. Boyce Watkins, man. These dudes are race hustlers. They'll have you all over the place because they always feed on that victimhood shit. They always feed on venerating the woman over the man. Watch them dudes, man. So I don't even know what he's going to say. I heard a little bit of this, but I didn't hear it all. But, yeah, he on point so far.
See, I knew this was going to happen. See, I knew a lot of the educated folk was going to be upset with me. And I knew probably everybody's going to be upset with me because my life story debunk a lot of narratives. And when you hear a man speak like me.
And he's about to go into the part that I heard. And that is real. He is a real life cheat code to what a lot of people say what the storyline should be for a black man. And I do want to mention this as well. He was saying on y'all podcast, why are you not? And I shared this on Twitter. I shared the little blurb. Well, sorry, the little snippet of what he said, and he was basically saying like y'all preach all this doom and gloom to black males when y'all not sharing the story of what it took for you to get to that level of being a professional basketball player. That when days when your friends want to kick it, you couldn't kick it. You had to go to the gym. You had to work out on days you didn't want to work out. And that's what got you to greatness. And that's what Kwame Brown is more or less speaking about now. In that faction where you think, oh, it's always the white man. Oh, they holding me back. And so in that faction of people is what you would call the boule. The boule is the advisor to the king. And those come in different forms, from like fraternity people, people in the craft, as it were. So even like myself, man, I'm an alpha, man, alpha phi alpha. One thing I don't do is agree with a lot of alphas, man. The way they move about business, it ain't about free thinking. It's about the go along, get along shit. So even myself, being a part of Alpha Phi Alpha, I see what guys who are not part of these fraternal orders are saying when they don't align with the ideologies and the principles, and everybody just trying to, again, to go along and get along. So he's not making this shit up. I argue with my brothers all the fucking time. All the time. You understand what I'm saying? But shout out to 858, man. All right, so I'm gonna keep going.
After you kicked him in his ass for 20 motherfucking years, he still sounds strong like this. I probably ruffled a lot of goddamn fellas. So, let me put my big ass face up on the camera. So, I just have to ask, my brother, you for the people, right, Dr. Boyce? Now, why would you get on a live show without reaching out to me or anything, or email or something? It's almost like you giving them the playbook to take down my channel. You've said that over and over again, and that's the new narrative now. They're going to take down the channel. They're going to take down the channel. Instead of it being we the people and bringing your people in that follow you and saying, you're not going to take down this channel because the people have spoken and they like this dude. And we're tired of hearing the same narrative from people like you, sir, that you talk a lot, you get paid a lot. Where are the results? Sir, see,
that's a great question, and that's why. And I'm not taking away nothing from the intelligence being from Dr. Boyce Watkins. I think he's a brilliant man. He went to Syracuse. He has a lot of good shit to say. But what I've noticed from Boyce Watkins is, well, one, he said Kobe is the greatest player of all time, which is bullshit. Which Kobe is my favorite player of all time. I'm telling you, if anybody who knows me in real life, I've always been an avid Kobe Bryant fan, not even close. But if you asking me if Kobe is the best player of all time, hell no. No, you're a worse version of Jordan. How can he be the best player of all time? It makes no sense. And I love Kobe. So yeah, he about to break down his astuteness to let you know what that's about.
Result, nigga. You can call me whatever you want to call me. Your opinion don't mean nothing to me. But what I'm saying is, I'm a result of what happens. I'm a walking, breathing example of a free thinker.
Yes, you are.
You can't debunk nothing I'm saying with your talking because my life said you a motherfucking lie. And my mama's cooking told me so.
I want to speak on that too. So I had a brother reach out to me, shout out to Jahari, man, about the mother's cooking he always does. That has the Geechee roots. As you know, his mother, I believe she's deceased. So when he speaks about that, that may be some of his belief system about her still manifesting in his life. So yeah, man, that Geechee shit, that Gullah and Geechee shit ain't gonna play with, man. That they have like what I guess you would compare to like voodoo beliefs and shit. I guess adjacent. So yeah, that's what he talking about when he said that mother's cooking shit. So it's interesting he brings that up so frequently. Because he's not really talking about her recipe to cook. He's talking something deeper than that. I do want to mention that as we keep going forward.
So instead of you trying to dox a brother on the sneak tip, sir, and the rest of you YouTubers that's talking about, oh, they gonna take your channel down. How you gonna take your channel down? Why aren't you speaking power? You always talking about powernomics. Talk like you got some power. We not gonna let his channel get that.
And that's called having a ruling class mentality, man. He on point, man. Kwame Brown's on point. He know what the hell he's talking about. He just gets a little abrasive. But that's called having a ruling class mentality is what he's talking about.
You ain't even talking about the things that I'm saying out of my mouth, sir. It's sad. You buck dancing and belly aching too. That don't sound like strength to me. They might take his channel down. They might take his channel down. If niggas like you, let them.
I'm sorry, I'll keep stopping this. And this is what I was saying on my live stream about 2 weeks ago. I had a brother who was very vehemently against speaking from a subservient point of view. And he just did not like the stuff I had to say about race and stuff like that. I'm like, dog, when you always asking somebody, when you speak not in the affirmative, you speak in the the recessive, nobody's gonna take you serious. Nobody's gonna give you anything. So I just saying like, hey, I think in our black community we do that shit too often, and that's why we generally don't get what we want, because we speak in the defensive. We don't speak in the affirmative. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's what Kwame Brown is talking about right here. Oh, they're gonna take down this channel. Like, he's like, no, I wish they would take down this channel. That's what he's saying. That's what how Alpha speaks. Like, I wish they would take that brother channel down. He gonna come on my show. Try to shut him down if you want to. And that's how, again, the affirmative and the recessive, that's how you break through that mentality, if as it were.
It's sad.
Dude, Kwame Brown.
The boys, I told you, and I told all of you, mama's cooking is watching. So while you on your live telling them the blueprint on how to take my channel down, because of a technicality, I know it's just a technicality go along, get along game. Because of a technicality that I used the N-word, that I changed to brothers. Yeah, it's changed now to brothers. Go look it up. Thank you for the tip, though. Salute you for that, worm. And I was about to get into your life and what you decided to do and how you move. Because, see, you can smell it on me. And I think that's what intimidates you. You smell it, don't you, boy? You want to smell it? Go ahead and smell it.
Yeah. And that's what the crux of all this is that with a lot of guys who are very judgmental, opinion based, which I have no problem with. When somebody come and bring you that smoke back your way, a lot of people ain't ready for that shit. So everything I say and do, I know that down the line, if my channel gets big, somebody gonna try to dig up something and try to throw it in my face. I know that. I'm prepared for that. And that's what a forward thinker does. You don't just do through life and just think that everything's gonna roll the way you want to roll just because that's how you want it to go. You got to pre-plan in your mind for that happening and what you're gonna say to it. And I told y'all, me being a salesman, that's what I do every day at work. It's called overcoming objections. So I know when a person comes in well-intended to buy, once they get to the point where they've been educated, they've been shown, people generally are not good decision makers. So they're ready to make any excuse to leave out the store without buying it. Oh, what time y'all close? Oh, I live right up the street. Everybody says that shit. So I'm ready for that. I'm prepared for, like, to me, the sale don't start until that shit comes up. When that shit comes up, then I start my job, to me. So all the presentation, all of the asking about the family life, what they call it, form, all that stuff is just a precursor to the real part of the sale. Once I get the no, then it starts. And that's what good salesmen do in any vocation, in any type of sales. They'll all tell you that. Once you get the first objection, that's when it starts. And that's what he is. Like, once the first person says something, he knows where it's going because he's a very astute brother. And that's what I want y'all to take away from this Kwame Brown experience and take all the cussing, the N-word stuff out, because most black men behind closed doors, they speak just like Kwame Brown. So let's be understood. We talking high level, all that. Again, me being an alpha, I'm associated with a lot of high level men. They all talk like this behind closed doors. Let's cut through the bullshit. All right, so I'm gonna play a little bit more of this, and I'm gonna close. I really appreciate y'all hanging in tough. Rap God, if you still on here, I'm gonna answer your questions. So let me know if you're still in the chat, brother. And let me play a little more, and then we'll land the plane, like Bernard Riley says.
That's sad, man. Y'all been fucking with an 18-year-old kid this long, and the motherfucker turn around and say enough. And I said it quietly. Enough. And now you want to do what you always do in front of the people this time, though. And I'm just a big enough buzz to expose you, motherfuckers. You still think I'm crazy? While I'm playing Connect 4 with my son, raising him in a household peaceful and quiet. Do you hear any noise in me? You don't want little black boys to be raised like this, do you? Huh? Do your powernomics and all that talking that never changed nothing. The brother, black brothers, that sit on YouTube and see the donation.
That's an Umar shot right there. Donation.
Mama's cooking. The more y'all talk, the more y'all gonna expose y'allself.
I gotta say with the Umar Johnson thing, I'm a little triggered by that. Umar Johnson, man. And he's been talking this Black Power shit for 10 years. This man has bought like a used up facility, still asking for donations, like this Marcus Garvey and Frederick Douglass school. This man has said he's a descendant of Frederick Douglass. This man makes a lot of claims. He does not produce a lot of results, man. And that's just facts, man. So I think that shot is very much warranted.
I've done nothing but come to YouTube, speak the truth, and allow people to eat off my mama's cooking. And that's more than your loud talking ass ever done. Somebody prove me wrong with the results and not talking. Is it my vote, son? Yes, sir. Mama's cooking.
Now I will say this: he promotes masculinity a lot. He talks about his mother a lot. Excuse me, which I don't think nothing wrong with that per se. But I would like the promotion of the men in raising men as well. So I guess that's my only little side critique of what he's doing with the mama's cooking. But all he knows is his life experience. I mean, Kwame Brown's a year older than me, so I mean I get it. We live the same life as far as mentally. But I do cringe a little bit at the oversaturation of the mother aspect, because I think in our community, what we got to start embracing more is our males or our father's impact on our lives, because that's what's going to lead us to the next level. So I will just add that little caveat if I was to be like critical, but I can't tell that man how to, with his life experience, and his mother obviously had a big impact on him, and I don't want to take that away from him, but it's just, I just, that's just my little small critique.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do. Good move. I got a better move.
This shit's almost prophetic, man. He teaching his son playing Connect 4 while he talking to It's a layered ass live, man. If y'all really peep the game, Kwame Brown is not a fool, man, at all.
I got a question. I got a real important question. What happened to our elders? What happened to our elders? I was raised by an elder. And you know what he didn't do? He didn't dox a man. He didn't get on camera. He didn't stand on a man's shoulders. If he had no way of contacting you, he said nothing. He didn't get on camera and fake like he helped him. He said nothing. I know why you're talking, Doc. Because all that talking ain't never showed no results. And you scared just like everybody else scared. So you'll give a fake ass, oh, I'm just worried. And you worried about you. I'm worried about the people. That's why my YouTube page is open for people to use my video. Do you know how much money I could make if I just tell people to stop right now? You don't have no results behind what you're talking about. You're just talking. I got results.
And I'm gonna stop it right there. And that's the long and short of it. Again, y'all watch them race hustlers. Them race hustlers will have you every way but sideways and have you confused. and have you upset, but no results. And that's what Kwame was saying. Like, you got this big platform, you are intelligent, astute brother, right? But you ain't getting no results out of it. You just bitching about the white man and all this shit. And Kwame is his head's on a swivel, man. And so I do appreciate that about him big time, man. And so I guess I'll end the live here, but that's just what I see so far in Kwame, and his message is going to continue to go further, man. Again, he's at about 240 subscribers, coming from 3K about a week ago. And I wish I would have been putting the stuff out. I was made privy to this pretty swiftly, but I was being lazy and I didn't put it out. And I'm sure that would have monetized my channel. But that's okay, man. Hoop Jargon, man. I'm not going to try to cheat myself to the finish line. If I catch the wave, I catch it. If I don't, I don't. And you got to live with that as a man. So appreciate all y'all been holding strong with me this whole live. Kwame Brown is doing great work. I wonder where it's going to go from here, because eventually he's going to have to start putting his product into a more how can I put it? He's going to have to package it in a way that's more receivable, as far as like just him coming online, sticking to his talking points in a more cogent fashion, which I think he's getting there. Like he clearly is getting better at that. And so because after a while, people are going to start getting. So he's a free thinker, which I am as well. But people kind of fall deaf ears on you after a minute if you do not evolve with the, and it's counterproductive to what he's doing, but the media standard, because people are used to receiving media in a certain fashion. So, and I think he will do that because he's slowly getting there. So I don't. I think he has advisors in his corner to tell him what to do. So I'm not detesting that one bit. I think he's going to do that. But he's going to keep injecting his own personal mama's cooking. And I ain't mad at it at all, man. I'm not mad at the get back to it from Kwame Brown, man. So salute to that brother. Salute to everybody out here checking out my Hoop Jargon videos. And, man, sub to the channel if you're not done so already. And it helps grow me. I'm 188 away from being monetized. So that's all I got. Man, so I want to leave some time if y'all want to hop on and you know what, I'm gonna do that next time. Next video, I'm gonna put the link in the chat and I'm gonna have y'all hop on too. So I'm gonna incorporate y'all into this too. So I really appreciate y'all. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.